All right, welcome back, everybody. We continue with our election coverage, and we're now going back to the Democratic Alliance's big rally in Johannesburg today. Well, the DA is entering the final week of campaigning for next Monday's local government elections with a rally at Mary Fritzgerald Square, just a stone's throw away from the City of Johannesburg's municipal building, which the major political parties are vying to control. For more, we cross back to our reporter, Yolisa Njamela. Yolisa, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And what can you tell us at this point?
Sipiwe is quite noisy here as the excitement is building up. Hundreds and hundreds of DA supporters from around the country have arrived here. They're all keen to hear what their leader, John Steenhuisen, will be saying when he delivers his speech at this last rally of the Democratic Alliance. He'll be delivering that speech at 10 a.m., just under an hour from now. I will be in conversation with our political editor, in a short while. But you know, at this point, perhaps let's talk to the Democrats. They call themselves the Blue Brigade. They call themselves the Democrats. So perhaps let's hear from them first before we converse with what they are here for, what they are expecting. And we'll first ask Umama, who's next to us, where she's from. Igama ngubani mama, usukapi, and why you here?
Igama lami Christina Msiyanguye Everton.
Uzokwenza ntoni apha mama?
Ngizojayiva ne-DA.
Umyalezo kababa uJohn Steenhuisen ulindele uba athini?
Ngilindele ukuthi asitshele ukuthi siwinile sithathile Everton.
Uyathemba uba nizowina?
Sizowina i-Everton sithathile. Corruption phansi.
Corruption endaweni yakho?
Phezulu angizwa
corruption endaweni yakho?
Kakhulu phansi nge-corruption phansi. Phezulu nge-DA phezulu.
Nangoku mama Christina telling us that she's here mainly to hear a message from her leader, but also to ensure that in her community or her municipality, no more corruption. Mama, igama ubani utwagai?
Kina Ntabiseng Alice Matsinela. Ke tswa Emfuleni North ka Vaal, ke candidate ya 43. Re tlile mona re tlo etsa rally. Ha ile masipala ona re tlo nka. Re a wina. Masipala ga wina ya Vaal. Vive Emfuleni.
Ma from Emfuleni, she's sure that they're going to win. There's a whole lot of other Democrats here. They call themselves the Blue Brigade. We want to find out from them why they are here, what their expectations are, and who they are. My sister, tell our viewers who you are and why you're here.
I'm from Midvaal. Into engilethela nayo ibanga le DA. Bengifuna sinike iDA ithuba because manje ANC idlale ngathi isikhathi eside. Yabona, ANC idlala ngabantu, ANC uqashwa ngenepotism ngokuthi ungubani, ujola nobani. So bengicela iDA iphathe kwamanje. Amandla DA.
Siyabulela sisi wami. Let's find out perhaps one more Democrat or two more. I see two ladies here who would like to chat with us as well. My sister, you're here because?
Because I'm here. I'm tired of ANC. ANC is the chelete tsa rona. E khatha batho. E ya ka lebala hore mang ke mang o tsebana le mang jwang. Corruption e mon re khathetse. Ba tshepisa batho dintho tse siko. Since ke le DA, mo ke tswang teng, ho clean ke tswa Savannah City Ward 11. So mo ho clean ha ke na problem ka metsi, electricity, everything is fine. So Amanda nge-DA Amanda.
So I tshepa DA gore tla etsa dilo tse sharp.
Ke a tshepa haholo because ke bona mo ke dulang teng ho sharp. Re kutela le majwang. Service ya DA e right. Number 1.
O expect gore John Steenhuisen mlaetso wa hae o tla ba a ring today.
Ona jwale ntho ke tsebang ntho tse tla a tlo re tshepisang tsona ke ntho tse tlo etsahalang because most of time they never promised us ntho tse le rong ha ba di etse.
My sister, you want to say something as well?
Yes.
Your name and what are you expecting from the DA leader?
Okay, my name is Lindiwe. I'm from Midvaal. So, ngilana because ngiyazi ukuthi DA gets things done. So, please, batho ba ko Midvaal ko ba re votele DA because DA e etsa hore dintho di etsahale.
Siyabulela ushaya ngamazaza Lindy. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Here's another DA member, the Democrat. Tell us your name. What are you expecting from the speech from the leader?
My name is Lena, and I'm from the Ward 106, Alberton constituency. And it's time for change. It's time for a new South Africa for every South African. One South Africa for all.
Thank you so much for chatting with us. Well, you heard it from a whole number of the ladies, mainly ladies actually, who are speaking to us. But like I said, we're going to be in conversation with SABC political editor Mzwandile Mbedwe as the DA is hosting their final rally before that all-important November 1 elections. Mzwai, so exciting today. You'll remember that, the party, when they were hosting their manifesto, it was virtual. The excitement was not like this. But since the president eased those restrictions, the atmosphere is actually different.
Absolutely. I guess every party, they want to flex their muscle, of course, within the limited space of not more than 2,000. But of course, I guess it's more about the optics today, the show of force. They want to win this city, for example. So they are saying, here we are, here are our people. So you remember their slogan, we get things done. It's interesting, the kind of the messaging along the way, whether that gets things done has not been confused by some of the things that they've done. You'll remember the issue of Phoenix. You'll remember the issue of racism that has just been picked up on the online services where the leader of the DA was involved. So was that proper messaging in the current context? The jury's out.
Like you mentioned, the issue of Phoenix in Zwandile, that was very jarring. That was very pronounced. And they're leading up in their campaigns leading up to this election. It also didn't help that John Steenhuisen, the leader of the party, afterwards still maintained that issue instead of perhaps dealing with it outright. Do you believe that it will affect them negatively at the polls?
It's possible it may have affected some people in terms of looking at how the DA thinks. I mean, in this city that we are in, Yolisa, the mayoral candidate here broke ranks, basically said, I don't agree with what the party is saying. So if someone from within is able to say that, to say, no, this is wrong, just imagine someone who may have thought about going to them, but then sees this kind of messaging. Yes, in terms of their simple message, we get things done, and then you somehow confuse it with some of the stances that confuse the public. But, well, as I was saying, Yoli, the jury is out how deep this will affect people. But certainly those messaging and that online issue that where John Steenhuisen was involved, where they appeared to downplay racism, that could be an issue again.
But like you mentioned, Mzwai, they're saying the DA gets things done. And the past few years and the campaigns that they've had, for instance, their previous leader, Musi Maimane's tagline would be ANC Aisafan. And during Tony Leon's reign, there was a fight back campaign using their posters. This time, they prefer to concentrate on their successes, on their strengths, and not particularly criticize, especially the governing party. What's your take on that?
So certainly, that's why I was saying earlier, their message appeared to have been very straightforward and to the point, because they were able to even draw on what the Auditor General has said. I mean, the top, I think, 5 municipalities are run by the DA, so they can be able to point to say, this is what we are doing. But unfortunately, in the process of that positive messaging, the leader or the issues that are around racism. Remember, the DA in other parts of the country is still being viewed as a white party. Yes, they claim to be the most multiracial party, but the fact of the matter is that is the DNA of the DA multiracial as they want us to believe. If they still make those statements which appear to downplay the issue of racism.
Now that this is their final rally. What do you believe is the message that the leader is going to push forward today to sell to South Africans who will potentially vote for them?
I think they are basically going to be touting their successes in some of the municipalities. I can see them talk about Midvaal, I can see them talk about Cape Town, I can see them talk about one or two other municipalities that have done well. They'll try to tout that as a track record where South Africans need to then follow so that they are able to then vote them in bigger numbers. But remember, Yolisa, they are fighting this election when there are parties that have been taking off from them. The Freedom Front Plus has taken a huge chunk of the DA votes. The Patriotic Alliance, particularly in the so-called minorities, have taken their votes. So how much more are they going to be able to get? Black people, yes, they still command a good number of black people within their ranks. But for you to lose a leader like Musi, like Mashaba, like Pumzile, people who were at some point the faces of the DA, and these people are not saying good things about the DA. What about the potential voters who had thought perhaps this is the place to be? But these were at the helm. They still couldn't enjoy the benefits of being at the helm. So we will wait and see.
Zondile Mbeje is SABC's political editor in conversation with us here at the DA's final rally. We'll take it back to the studio, but before that, you heard for yourself what the Democrats are saying, what the Blue Brigade is saying they're expecting from their leader, John Steenhuisen. He will be taking to that podium at 10 a.m. in just less than an hour from now. But we will chat with you before that. We'll be bringing on Tyrone Gary, who is Mogale's, or rather Mogale's city mayoral candidate here with the Democratic Alliance. Let's take it back to you for now, Simpiwe. We're actually quite struggling to hear ourselves as well.
Many thanks to